You love the camera's right there. Hey Roscoe, what's going on, man? I am checking the ability to stream remotely, and my daughter is playing with her Launchpad McQuack Tailspin airplane. Piper, wave to the camera. Oh, that's the camera.
Oi, 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 oi. Dang it.
That's right. It's Friday night here. This is what we do: is we test our equipment. What I'm doing is checking to see that I can
Hello.
stream from my Google tablet with the much better camera.
Hello. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Piper, don't put it on the camera. So that's my friend Roscoe, who's watching us right now. And you want to know where he lives?
What?
In Australia. Look at the camera, make that face. Wait. Here. Now make the face. Thanks, man. I finally got a haircut. Finally got a haircut in quarantine. You like my haircut? Hey, Roscoe, not that I'm being pushy or anything, but when are you getting married? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you just get engaged?
How come we can't hear him?
Because he can only write back. He can't hear us talking to him. Understood. I get that. Honeymoon in Hollywood, California. Maybe check out our wrestling show.
Pretty. Ooh, what is this?
Well, the thing that you're breaking apart is what your oldest sister made for me. Japan would be dope. I would love to go to Japan. That's on our list. We were supposed to go to Scotland in October. And my wife gave me the go-ahead to check out wrestling promotions while we're out there. I had at least one show lined up. But of course, with COVID, us Americans can't leave the country. We can go to Mexico. So we planned for our Thanksgiving holiday here in the States, we are going to go to Mexico. Can you hear me okay? Don't play with that. Yeah, but don't touch it. That's a push pin. That'll hurt your finger. Yeah, you don't want to have a wedding where you can't have fun. So yeah, what I'm doing right now, Roscoe, is my setup is this guy right here. This beast right here is my everyday rig. Put your tongue. But what I'm doing is, in case I have an opportunity to maybe do a podcast remotely from somewhere important, I want to be able to do it remotely without using my phone, but using something a little bit better. Yeah, Roscoe, I bought this earlier this year to upgrade the podcast, which I think a lot of people agree my stuff is looking better. The drawback, though, is you can't take that on the road, and there's a lot less bells and whistles using a tablet, but I don't know, maybe I can figure something out. Let me try something. Since we're just experimenting, let me try. You might not even hear it, but why not try it, right? Oh, did I take everything off? All these songs I think would get me in trouble for the copyrights. Yeah, Roscoe, actually the plan going forward, if I'm here in the studio, we can go YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all live at the same time. I think if I had a Mixer account, I could probably do that as well, but I don't have a Mixer. I'm not planning to get a Mixer. I was looking into maybe streaming live on Instagram Live as well, but it doesn't seem like the platform works together. I checked out Periscope, but I didn't have a lot of ease getting into that as well. So for right now, this is what it is. And the thing is, so that Thunder Rosa interview was actually weeks ago, and when I streamed it, that was a replay. That was we did our interview via Skype, and then I just kind of broke it apart and re-put it back together using an OBS software with all the backgrounds and cool stuff, and then I just uploaded it. So while you were watching it, it was already done, and that's pretty cool to be able to do things like that. If I can do this remotely, maybe when oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it was Skype. It turned out pretty good. If you look at the video in the early beginning of it, it was kind of choppy. That's because I was using my old desktop. That interview predated the new rig. So, but the cool thing is, if I can use my Nikon HD camera and record video on my tablet, record an interview, I can always piece that together on the rig. So yeah, this is kind of getting fun. There's 4 people watching this. Hey, you 4 people, I demand you to show yourselves. Speak. Oh, hey, Terry, what's going on? I'm just testing stuff out. I've really got nothing much to report on. There's no, I mean, I guess there is news. We know that Priscilla Kelly is going to be challenging Thunder Rosa on episode 2 of the Primetime Live series. I believe that's September 22nd. Not a huge fan of Priscilla Kelly. I did see her prior to the incident, but I mean, she's decent. And, the thing is, Thunder Rosa's so good in the ring, they can throw a broomstick in there and she'll have a good match with her. And Dave Scooby was, you guys are so funny. Thank you for checking me out. Literally, I'm just testing. What I'm doing is, if you can see, I am on my tablet instead of my desktop, and I'm just doing a live stream on here to check the capabilities in case maybe I get an invitation to go somewhere. I could do a live stream and not be here at the home office. Yeah, Roscoe, like I saw in the Discord channel, it's just Gary was right. They're trying to get the best matches they can make. They're trying to use people with some name recognition. It's all about just garnering eyeballs at this moment. I talked to Dave. The financials for this show is very razor thin. If they can keep breaking even, they're going to keep running these shows. He's not looking to, I think the price that they're advertising the shows are very reasonable. $7.99 per episode, or the bundle where it's basically like $5 an episode. I think that's a good deal. I'm glad it is. And Scooby, you're the man, dude. I want to say I really appreciate you plugging away all the NWA content creators out there. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but Scooby created the audio for the opening for the pre-party. That's awesome. It's kind of funny because I did an audio not nearly as good, but very similar to that years and years ago. I grabbed Jim Ross calling the Alliance from the WCW ECW invasion. I grabbed Voltron the cartoon, because they used to call the Thundercats, the Voltron. It was like the Alliance. They were part of the Alliance, and I had Dwight from The Office asking Pam if she wanted to join the Alliance. But yours is way better, way better. And Scooby says he has no wife. Yeah, and me too. I mean, I have a wife and kids, but outside of that, this is what kind of consumes me. Full disclosure, when I see how good Gary's stuff looks, the Bearded Trio, it makes me want to step my game up. It's not a jealousy thing. It's let's up our production. Let's up our values. I know that they like what I'm doing. I like what they're doing. So it's a very healthy competition. They certainly are getting great publicity with working as closely with the NWA as they are. In years past, I had similar relationships with the previous NWA ownership. I don't have that access now, but that's okay. I said it months ago, rising tides lifts all ships, and my views are going up. I feel like the quality of the content is getting better, and yeah. Yeah, they were not in 7 Levels of Hate, but I was for like 5 seconds. My wife's photos were in 7 Levels of Hate. The documentary where I did get a lot of play was the history and tradition of the National Wrestling Alliance. I think that's what it's called. I think it's from Elbow Studios. You might still be able to get it on High Spots. It's on like the streaming High Spots network. I don't know what that's even called, but I got a lot of play in that. If you ever watch that one, I got a lot more airtime than I thought I was going to get. I kept telling Michael Elliott to send me a royalty check. Terry, I like to keep it simple too. I don't know if you've noticed, I've started making more audio content strictly for the Anchor app that I have. I put up when Will Martin and I do the Friday hot tag. Our agreement was that the video would go to YouTube. The Instagram Live is also the NWA podcast. The YouTube videos are the NWA podcast, but the audio would go up on Anchor, which goes through my different channels. And I have Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and a couple other podcast players. And so along with that, on Fridays, I tend to put up some, I don't want to call it micro content, but smaller portions, usually parts of the pre-party or other audio I might have recorded that I try to incorporate, make it simpler, easier to digest. As much as I love this is the NWA podcast, if I wasn't a fan of those guys, I couldn't sit there and watch 3 hours of people talking about wrestling, or even 2 hours. I'm totally surprised that as many people hang on there as much as they do. I mean, don't get me wrong, the conversation's fascinating and interesting. It's just a lot of time to commit to a podcast. So, kudos to them. But I don't think I want to keep my shows that long. I think hour tops for what I do. Dave Scooby, if you ever want to do something for the Alliance Guys podcast, because I think we're going to start recording those again now that we have the NWA United Wrestling Network Primetime Live. We might start doing our own version of the recap. It's Kevin Frazier, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, DKM, and myself. If you're bored, I'd love it. Certainly take you up on that. Roscoe, you're the person I heard talk about Wolfie D. Now I know Wolfie D's history with the NWA. In fact, I believe he even challenged Scrap Iron Adam Pearce for the title years and years ago. I hadn't heard anything about him. I too hope he recovers. He's a young guy. I mean, when the industry of professional wrestling, it's kind of sad because guys do drop way younger than they should be. And I hope he's okay. I haven't really heard anything more about it. And of course, my esteemed colleague, NWA Gold, is here. NWA Gold and I are going to be doing something down the road. We are definitely going to do something, even if we just lament about our favorite NWA champions. We've discussed a few names already, and it's funny. I've had a lot of offers from other people to work with them and do podcasts with them, and I'm starting to have to get a little bit choosier because there's only so many hours in a day. But I'm definitely committed to doing a pre-party on Tuesdays ahead of whatever the NWA puts out. I will definitely keep doing Friday Hot Tag with Will Martin because that is fun, easy, and I enjoy doing it. The Alliance Guys podcast are my brothers, so whenever I have a chance to record with them, I certainly will. And Tim from I just lost my train of thought. Of course, NWA Gold will definitely enjoy working with him as well. Roscoe, I think he is a two-time champion. I believe he held the titles both times in Impact. The Disciples of the New Church, I think you're correct. And in Joseph Samil, I still have emails saved from that guy. There's a lot of stories there. Maybe one of these days I'll start reading just the exchanges we had back in the day. Yeah. There's a reason why I don't really celebrate his time as champion. It's funny because we used to be pretty close. Like his NWA promotion, because he was a part of the NWA, was Pro Wrestling Fusion. They were based in Florida, and I've heard that a lot about. A lot of people say that they enjoyed what he did with MLW. Which is cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't watch MLW. I think it's now on that Fubo Sports Network, which if you have a Samsung TV or an LG TV, the smart TVs, you can actually watch it for free. So I may start watching it. But yeah, we had this really good relationship. I was pushing for him hard when he won the NWA Midwest Championship, because back then that was a very important title. We were really pushing for him to get the North American Championship, and that's kind of where I saw him, and I saw him as a North American champion. Not that whatever I said was really influencing anybody, but I never thought he should be world champion. I don't think he had the je ne sais quoi to be world champion. I just don't think he had the it factor. When you look at the NWA champions of the past, Bruiser Brody never held the title. Abdullah the Butcher never held the title. Stan Hansen never held the NWA World title. But they were still very important players to the National Wrestling Alliance. And that's how I saw the Sheik or Joel. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. So, what part of Australia are you from? Because I know my limited knowledge of Australia. I know that Perth was home to quite a few good talents, including WWE Shane Thorne. Formerly of NXT was Mikey Nichols, who's now wrestling in, I guess he was wrestling in New Japan. Queensland. Okay. Well, yes and no. When it comes to what you're saying, Baba certainly is an attraction, but Baba paid for that title. Like, it's no secret. He bought that reign, and it really helped his territory. There was no real benefit to putting the belt on the Sheik. It didn't really do much for the NWA. Now, Muta was a little bit different in that Muta had held gold in the NWA, and I don't know, he was showcased. I mean, his feudless thing over the TV title was kind of a big deal. And he was much higher up on the card in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, but man, there's 5 of you guys watching this. You blow my mind all the time. The level of support you guys give is amazing. That's what makes doing this so much fun, is that I'm not talking to myself. Even when I'm supposed to be talking to myself, you guys are here just to hang out. And that's so cool, man. It's just, it's unbelievable. Well, since you asked, I saw that for the first time today. I subscribed to Adam Pearce's YouTube channel, so that was the first time I ever saw that match. A funny anecdote about that match is when it was advertised, because, you know, there's a language barrier between the United States and Mexico, and I'm not sure who created the flyer, but they put Adam Pearce shirt for Adam Pearce on the flyer, and then for Brent Albright, they blew that one too, and they put Brental, Brental, Bright. So it was kind of funny. It was a good match. It was fun. It was they wanted to work with Blue Demon. They were trying to set up a territory in Mexico with Blue Demon. That little interaction between Pearce and Blue Demon set up their match down the road when Pearce regained the World's Heavyweight Championship. So it was a good match in that it told a story. It gave Albright a big win internationally. I mean, again, I think Albright was the first champion in a while to defend that title in Mexico. Don't count on Dave to release a lot of stuff. He's very stingy. I've been asking for decades. When Marquez was running the Inoki Dojo, the Santa Monica Dojo, they did this the event called New Japan USA. They actually filmed TV. It was called the Tokon TV series. One of the matches they recorded was right when Ultimo Dragon left the WWE, and it was Ultimo Dragon versus Daniel Bryan, or back then the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and that was a stellar match. I've asked him to release that one forever. There was the Samoa Joe versus Willie Mack, which I think he just released recently, and they only had the one camera filming, but they said that was not going to be taped. I was at that event, and I sat there and watched the camera recording the entire time. I was like, full of shit, Dave. And then some of the other matches was Samoa Joe versus Togi Makabe from New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was a really great match when Samoa Joe was Ring of Honor World Champion. That was on one of those events. There's so many good matches that are in David Marquez's library, his vault, if you will. And I've asked him, hey, what about this match? What about this match? And he's more or less indicated that until the WWE comes calling, most of those matches won't ever see the light of day. And yeah, I did see, I was there live. Blue Demon totally went into business for himself. That wasn't scripted. That wasn't part of the plan. He was just saw an opportunity and tried to jump at it. And honestly, Demon can still go. He wrestled Dr. Wagner Jr. at the Madison Square Garden show. I believe that was Madison Square Garden when AAA, is it AAA or CMLL? Had to be AAA. Now I'm unsure. Now I don't know. But he's still going, guys. And I mean, I know he's in more advanced age, but so is Tim Storm. Keep asking for Dane versus Hiroshi. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm almost positive that Dane versus Tenzin was recorded by Vendetta Pro Wrestling. What they did with the tape, I have no idea. But Vendetta Pro Wrestling, well, they've gone through so many name changes. I'm not sure what they're called now, but they were responsible for doing the Cauliflower Alley Club shows in Las Vegas, Nevada. And they booked these marathon shows in front of the convention members, and most of the time it was just the old veterans. And they didn't really care about the matches. So it was like not very big crowds with these marathon-style matches. And I don't know if it ever saw the light of day. Sabu versus Rapada. I mean, I don't know. Did they record that in Music City? I have no idea. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that match happened at NWA Texoma, where Jax finally lost to Tim Storm, who had been chasing for years. But a lot of these promotions, even if they did film these shows, they never released them. And I get it, because you think there might be some perceived value by putting out this special DVD or video on demand. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have the means to do that, you can upload that match to YouTube. And I'm not saying that Jax Dane versus Tim Storm is going to elicit $1,000 in viewership, revenue stream. But yeah, it's a shame that matches like that don't make it. You guys get me talking, and here it is. I've been on here for 30 minutes. I told the wife I'd be down like in 10. So, hey, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for checking it out. Stay tuned on Tuesday for the pre-party. I'm going to have some special surprises. All right, guys. Hope you're well. Hope you have a great weekend. Yeah, be good. Enjoy.